I'm about to tell you exactly why I love the deadlift and why you should too. I'm gonna go in a little bit of depth on why I love it, as well as the top 3 variations that all populations should do: athletes, fitness freaks, and even general gym goers. But first, let's jump into why I love it. Reason number 1, it's the challenge. You can either pick it up or you can't. You can get it up off the ground clean or you can't. You can cheat a squat with those little quarter reps. You can cheat a bench press getting your ass up off the bench, but you can't cheat a deadlift. You're not doing that little herky-jerky thing people do, and you get a nice clean technique, it's a sign of pure strength. So I love the challenge that the deadlift presents. Now, for athletes and fitness freaks and people who have lifestyle activities that involve like sport and things like that, it's a great way to develop lower body strength, power, and hypertrophy. It gives us the opportunity to get that vertical force production because we got to stand up under load. Also helps us get that strong hip extension, helping us go forward in that horizontal force production because we got to snap those hips through to finish off the lip, keeping that low back nice and tight, keeping that core tight. So I love the deadlift for building strength and power for athletes. And lastly, I think the deadlift is a great metabolically demanding workout. Does that mean do as much weight as you can, as many reps as you can, for as long as you can? No, absolutely not. But the fact that it engages your entire body, your entire posterior chain, your core has everything tense, you're gonna get the biggest bang for your buck by using this exercise, regardless of what variation you do. So if you want to lose fat, if you want to build muscle, the deadlift is a great way to stimulate those anabolic hormones that you need in order to do that when done properly under the proper amount of load. So what variations should we do for the different populations? For me personally, for my athletes, so that we don't get that risk of having that internal rotation and getting that slouch in our bodies when we are deadlifting with a straight bar, I use the trap bar deadlift. The trap bar deadlift, we can go high bar, low bar, take it off a deficit, do it with bands. We can do all of it, but it puts our arms at our sides. It gets us that triple extension when we need it, when we want to do it explosively, but it just gets us our hips through, gets us that strength, that lower body power, everything that we need that we can get from a traditional deadlift, but we mitigate the risk on our back so that we can actually transfer the sport a little bit better. So the trap bar deadlift is my number 1 variation for anybody looking to get strong, looking to get powerful. And then there's a traditional deadlift. So anybody who's looking to do a powerlifting competition, anybody who's looking to do Olympic type lifts like the snatch or the power clean, we want to be able to learn how to deadlift efficiently off of the ground. We can switch up to different type of variations like a snatch grip, we can do it with a deficit off of blocks, we can do eccentrics. There's a bunch of different ways we can implement the traditional bar deadlift, but I stick to these for my powerlifting athletes, for my Olympic lifting athletes, rather than just my athletes who are in team sports who are looking for just strength and power. There's no reason for us to straight bar those guys. So we do trap bar. And for my guys and girls who do traditional style deadlifts, we get proficient in the technique before we start to load pretty heavy. Lastly, but not least, I know everybody has something to say about it. The sumo deadlift is a good deadlift for people to do. Why? Because the sumo deadlift not only puts certain people at a mechanical advantage. If you're super short and you have shorter limbs, you're closer to the ground, if you're going to compete, it'll be in your best interest to do a sumo deadlift because you have less area to move the weight, right? So if I only have to move the weight 6 inches versus you who have to move the weight 10 to 12 inches, I'm going to move it 6 inches. And that's a great way to really put yourself at a mechanical advantage. It also is a great way to work on weaknesses. How many people have weaknesses in lower body movements or lower body lifts because of the lack of strength in assistance muscles or supporting muscles, or because of synergistic dominance, meaning that their glute max is not firing all the way. There are a lot of hamstrings and things like that we want to be able to engage. So the sumo deadlift is a great way to do this. It's also just a great way to switch it up, right? If you're traditional deadlifting for 12 months straight and not giving any type of variation, you're going to get pretty stale. It's going to be a monotony there. So you want to switch it up, and that's what the sumo deadlift does. So those are the 3 reasons I love the deadlift. Those are the 3 variations that I like for anybody to implement into their programming at any time. Remember, you can eccentrics, isometrics. You can go explosive or blocks, switch up your grips, do whatever you like. Just get some type of hinging pattern. Use dumbbells, use kettlebells. Just get the hinging pattern into your programming today. In the next video, we're going to talk about some drills and tips to optimize your technique and improve your strength. So keep it locked for that. And if you haven't already, please subscribe and share this with somebody who you think that this content will help, just like it's helped you. Until next time, get better one day, one rep at a time.